Recording. Hi, Lisa. How are you today?
I'm frustrated.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What's going on?
Well, I went to another counselor. I guess it's like been a couple weeks now because I did not I was done. I wasn't going to come back. And they I am a lesbian and I'm not sure how to tell my family about it. My family's very religious. I grew up in the church. It's something I think that would really definitely create some barriers between some of my family members and myself. And my counselor that I went and saw was pushing for me to just come out to them, to come out to my family. And it's causing me a lot of distress and anxiety. And I just really didn't feel like I was being heard at all. I
Hmm.
was trying to explain that I don't want to lose the relationship I have with my parents and my siblings, but I really think that this would create a lot of trauma for my family and myself because I would be so lonely. And
Hmm.
I don't currently have a partner. I did for a little while, but it was all in secret away from my family.
Hmm.
And that's kind of one of the biggest reasons why we separated because my partner didn't understand why I didn't want to involve my family in our relationship. And I mean, I was connected to their family
Hmm.
and we spent a lot of time with their family, but I just couldn't get myself to get to a point where I was okay with doing that, with
Hmm.
talking to my family about it and even introducing my partner to them because I didn't want to deal with what would happen. And I would have panic attacks about it and I wasn't sleeping well. It was a lot. And then I went to counseling to kind of overcome breaking up with my partner.
Hmm.
My counselor just didn't understand the importance of my family to me.
Hmm.
And I'm just not sure I don't know what to do next. So I almost didn't come to this. I'm very nervous to be here.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that your first experience was not what you wanted. And the counselor was insensitive to how you felt about coming out and the impact that it was going to make with your family. Um, And I'm glad you came in to have a second, um, give yourself another opportunity to have that discussion and talk about ways that you maybe could have the discussion with your family because coming out is it can be a very sensitive and difficult thing, especially if you come from a religious background. You don't know how they might react. So I can see your frustration. I can sense how you're feeling frustrated and hurt and sad about the situation. Um, have you reached out to other supports in the community or?
No, because I started counseling with the intention of kind of getting over. My partner and I were together for about 3 years. So that's a long time to commit to someone. And for that to just fall apart, I feel isolated again because I can't be honest with my family about who I am, but because I don't want to lose the relationship I have with them. And I didn't want to lose my partner, but I also didn't want to feel forced to do something I wasn't comfortable with either. So
Mhm.
I'm I really feel like I need to deal with those feelings before I can even consider the next step of in talking to my family. And I know for sure a couple of my siblings, they have kids and they might not even want me around their kids at all.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So let's talk about some possible scenarios. So what do you think that conversation might look like if you did um if you did, if thinking about if you had that conversation with your parents, what do you think that would look like? What do you think you would want to say to them?
Well, I think I would talk to my mom first, just because I think she would understand more and not judge me as much as I feel like my dad might. And I would probably just tell her that I had a partner, that I had a girlfriend, and that we broke up because I was too scared to tell her that I identify as a gay woman.
Hmm. It sounds like maybe starting with the parent that you think would be supportive of you. What do you think her reaction would be?
I don't know. And that's what causes the panic attacks because I love my mom and my dad and I don't want to hurt them. I don't want them to feel bad,
Hmm.
but I'm just not in a good headspace to even think about that.
Yeah. How do you are you comfortable with yourself being a lesbian? Like, do you have some guilt or feelings of shame? Start, with yourself and how, you want to live your life.
When I was with my partner, I didn't have any guilt or shame. And now that I'm back by myself again, I guess I do. My mom and dad are always asking me when I'm going to get married and have kids like my brothers and sisters. But I don't know. I want to have kids, but I want to be with someone who cares about me and that I care about.
Right. And you
And
can, mhm,
that doesn't feel like it's going to happen.
yeah. Well, you can still have a family. It may not look like what your parents envisioned, but I know gay couples that can still have a family like everyone else. So what would be if you didn't tell them, how would that make you feel? Like,
Right now, I just feel like I'm scared to tell them, but I'm sad to lie to them. And the lying has, or not really, I don't know if lying is the right word, but like hidden truth has caused separation.
mhm. Well, our time is up for today, but maybe for the next session, we can talk about ways that you can have that conversation, starting maybe with your mom, since it seems like she might be the one to offer you more support. And then, once you have a conversation with her and you're comfortable, it's, however you're comfortable. It's whatever feels good to you. And we could do some role plays, look at different ways to have that conversation that is very difficult. And then possible reactions that she may have and how to handle those, how to manage those reactions. And then once you have that conversation with your mom, then we can talk about moving on to like your dad or maybe one of your siblings that is also more, open or could be more open or understanding to accepting who you are.
Okay.
Does that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Lisa, for sharing. Oh,
Thanks.
yeah. Okay. I forgot we're not supposed to say thank you for sharing.
I'm sure he'll say something.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. Let's see.
that's funny. No, I'm just gonna laugh about that.
Okay. Um, So, process the situation, what the situation would have been like if it had been real for you. So, what would this have been like if it was real for you?
Oh, for me or for the counselor? I think for the counselor.
Okay, for me, if this was real, um, I think I would really look at, separating my own feelings about the situation, which I feel like I did, and just offer you like support and um have you like share more about how you're feeling. And I heard some frustration and sadness and possibly loneliness, and just kind of maybe talk a little more about that. Um yeah, process through that. Um what would I do in session two? Like I said, just kind of talk more through those feelings and talk about different ways to manage those conversations
Yeah,
to where it's more comfortable for you, and how to manage a possible rejection if it happened with one parent or both parents, or and how to handle the ones that didn't reject you, like, celebrate those and uh,
right.
process through that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and just being sensitive to not pressure you into having conversations that you're not ready for, and
yeah.
doing my own research on the
Wait, did
LGBT
you
community.
record this? You recorded it. Oh, we're
Yeah, I'm
recording.
still recording. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah. I would also do more research into like the LGBT community and coming out, and
Yeah.
that's, like, and, how to offer you maybe even more support resources in the community.
Yeah, I feel like I would I really liked because you said, do you have any other resources like in the community or any like connecting them with more people who would kind of not necessarily be a partner that is more like intimate, but
Yeah.
have more like kind of friendships that are deeper, where if something like that happens where, like often you kind of think breakups in general for people, they just need more people around them to kind
Yeah.
of be a safety net.
Hmm.
So this person maybe just doesn't have that safety net of people
Yeah.
because they're kind of isolating themselves everywhere, like
Yeah.
living a double life almost.
Yeah, like that's why I was asking, like, how do you feel about yourself? Like, are you accepting who you are? Start with that. And then, once you say, yeah, you are at that level of like, I accept who I am, I love who I am, and this is who I am, then I think having those connections will make it easier to have those conversations and hear other people's experience in coming out. How did it go for them? How did they handle it? How did they handle a family member that rejected them, that was a parent? You know,
Yeah,
did they
yeah,
eventually come around?
yeah,
So, because sometimes the initial, especially with a religious background, like initial could be like rejection, but then once that family member processes, that information, then they'll maybe come around. If,
right.
so,
Well, and I think it like reading in the book, it's like it goes even further, right? Like if they come out and then they get older, and then what happens, right? Like age definitely makes a difference on how that's responded to as well.
yeah.
You know? So I think there's a lot to it.
Hmm.
It also says, how do you gain multicultural competence using cultural humility with LGBTQ populations? I think you mentioned that you would like find more resources.
Yeah, find more resources, look into the community, connect you with
Yeah.
people that have gone through your experience. And if I'm not a lesbian, I wouldn't know what it would feel like, to have to come out. So I think connecting you with that population and offering it to you, and you don't have to take it. If you
Right.
don't. if you're not ready for it because you are isolating yourself, this is very it's not something that you're comfortable opening up to. So maybe, just leaving it at your own comfort level, how much you want to share. And maybe you just want to go and just be an observer first and, just kind of
Right.
ease into it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. That felt good.
Yeah. Okay, let me stop the recording.